Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We're so glad that you're here with us for our Shabbat morning service at Temple Akiba of Culver City. Shabbat morning service during which Micah is becoming a bar mitzvah. Micah, we're so excited to celebrate you and to celebrate with you. Everyone should have received a prayer book as you came into your seats. If you're missing one, I think everyone got one. All right, good. My name is Rabbi Zack Shapiro, and we welcome you. We really welcome you to be celebrating this moment, whether you're here in our congregation or here via Zoom or YouTube. I am officiating along with Cantor Lonnie Freilich, as well as our cantorial intern, Liz Baseman. But the truth is, the three of us are going to be taking a step back during much of the service, because once Micah steps up here for the Talit blessing in a moment, you're not going to sit down for a long time. He's going to be leading much of our service. A couple of announcements before we begin. First of all, you all brought some sort of phone with you, I would imagine. Make sure, please, that it is in the silent mode so that we don't get interrupted during the service. And we also ask that you keep the phone away. We don't need you to be taking photos. We have Jeff Graham, who's here, who will be taking photos on behalf of all of us. We want to share something about the music. Cantor.
Micah will be leading us through most of our service, and the rabbi and our cantorial intern and myself will also be leading some of our prayers. And we invite you to sing along with us, to join with us. This service is not being done for you, but being done with you. So we really invite you to engage, to sing along. There'll be some opportunities for hand movements, so we would love for you to participate in that. For those of you at home, feel free to sing along as well, or just sway to the music. And as I always say, if you're not sure of the words, just sing la la la, but we love to hear your voices.
We also know that there are a handful of you who are here watching via Zoom, and we encourage you to share in the chat box a thought or a blessing that you want Micah and his family to hear during the service. And if we see one of those thoughts coming in via you who are at home, Cantor or I will share your thoughts with the community. I mean, if there are thoughts that should be shared, I should say that much. Okay. We're going to begin with the singing of Hine Matov. It's on page 70 of our prayer books, and we invite you to please join together.
Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
We continue now on page 72. And Micah, we invite you to come forward along with your grandfather, Joseph Schwartz, Saba, who will be presenting you, come around this way, Micah, presenting you with the Talit. Again, everyone, we're on page 72.
This, by the way, is his grandfather's, no, my father's Talit.
Oh,
Very, very long time.
how very special.
All the way to Europe.
All the way from Europe. So, Grandpa, you're going to stand behind Micah. Micah, come right up here. Let me show you what to do. How special that this has come down through the generations. Hold on. So you're going to stand behind him just like this. There we go. Oh, no.
Oh,
Yeah, like that.
As I wrap myself in the talit, I fulfill the mitzvah of my Creator. Continue here. Bless Adonai, O my soul. Adonai, my God, how great you are. You are robed in glory and majesty, wrapping yourself in light as in a garment, spreading forth the heavens like a curtain. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu, lihitatef batzitzit. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who follows us with mitzvot, commanding us to wrap ourselves in the fringes.
Take it from each end. No. Your grandpa. Oh. Thank you so much. For the very first time, Micah, you put on your own talit. There we go. Which has come down through the generations. And this is the first mitzvah you're doing as a Jewish adult. And we therefore offer our blessing of thanksgiving, the Shehechianu. It's on page 344.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam,
Shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Friends, a gentle reminder to all that our policy at Temple Akiba is that even though we're outdoors, we need to be wearing masks. Micah, you are the only one who is the exception to that policy right now.
May I take it off?
You can take it off. As the leader of our service, you can take that one off. You're going to be continuing on page, Kendra, do you have the page in front of you?
84.
Thank you. Page 84 with the Nisim B'chol Yom, the blessings of the miracles that we have each and every day. There's an opportunity for us to harness goodness in the world, and our Siddur gives us a head start. Every time Micah finishes with one of those blessings, we'll respond by singing Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tzelem Elohim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani ben chorin.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Ozer Yisrael bigvura.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Oter Yisrael b'tifara.
Amen. Continuing now with the Chatzi Kaddish, we're on page 106.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Belma divra hirte v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon uvyomechon uvhayedechol bet Yisrael. Bagala uvizman karir v'meru.
Amen.
Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach Le'alam u'amei almaya Yitbara v'yishtaba v'yitbar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal Shemei dekudesha brichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirchata Tushbechata v'nechemata Damiran bi'alma v'meru.
Amen. Micah, a few of your people who are here on Zoom have shared. I just want to share a couple of their thoughts. So Benny and family Schwartz say, and then it says, Neri says, Micah, Micah, Micah.
And then Michelle Clapper says, Mazel Micah, and then Mazel Tov.
Right. So we encourage those who are home to continue to share thoughts and blessings. We continue now with our formal call to worship the Baruch Hu. It's on page 108. We ask all who are able to please rise.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamavorach Leolam Va'ed. Micah continues with our prayer of creation, the Yotzer Or, on page 110.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Yotzer or uvarei choshe Osei shalom uvarei et hakol Hameir la'aretz v'ladarim alecha barachamim Uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid Ma'aseh v'reishit Marabu ma'asecha Adonai Kulam b'chochma asita Mal haaretz kinyanecha Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu Al sheva ma'aseh yadecha, ve'al moreh or she'asita, yafarucha sela, or hadash al tzion tir, v'nizkech hulanu mechera le'oro, baruch atah Adonai yotzer chabarot.
Amen. Continuing now with the Shema Yisrael on pages 114 and 115. Our kibbutz tradition is to make the letter Shin with our fingers and cover our eyes.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We continue now with the V'ahavta on page 116.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvchol nafshecha uvchol meodecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam B'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvletecha v'derech, uvshochbecha, uvkubecha, ukshartam leyot al yadecha, V'chayu letotafot bein einecha, uktaltam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha. Leman tiskeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'tem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher chotzetiatem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lechem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Amen. Micah, you sound like you can do that in your sleep. That's just amazing. We're going to continue now with our prayer for freedom. It's your prayer. It's the Micha Mocha, right? That's got your name on it. And we realized it's got your brother's name in it later on. I believe it's got your name in this one. Ze'eli?
Not this one.
Oh, that's
Different
right.
one.
Only in the evening version. Okay. So we can do it again at night. On page 122, everyone.
Mi hamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osefele.
We continue now with our Amidah, central prayer in Judaism. It's on page 124. We invite the congregation to rise once again.
Adonai sefataitai ufi agitechilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rahel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Haste Avot V'Imachot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Lemad Shemo B'Achava, Mela Ozer Umashia Umagid, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magid Avraham, Vezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayecha Kol Atah, Rav Hoshia, Mehakel Chayim Bechesed, Mehayecha Kol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umakayem Bemunato Li Shenei Afar, Michamo Chamal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memitu Mechayeh, Umatzmiya Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atah Lechayot Hakol, Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayeh Hakol. Nekadesh et Shimcha ba'olam, Keshem Shmakdishim Oto Bishmei Maram, Kakatuv al Yad Neviecha, Vekara Ze el Ze ve'emar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melo haaretz, kevodo, Adir Adirenu Adonai Adonenu, Ma'adir Shimha bechol haaretz, Baruch kevod Adonai mimkamo, Echad hu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu Hu Malkeinu, Hu Moshienu Vehu Yashmienu, Baruch Hamav Lenei Kol Chai, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Yimloch Adonai Leolam, Elohai Yitzion, Ledor Ador vador nagid God lecha. Ulnetza netzachim kedushat ha-nakdish. V'shiv hacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush le'olam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Have a seat. Go with your mom over here. Friends, we are going to continue with our own silent meditations. We can use our prayer book as a guide from pages 132 to 142, or else just take an opportunity to reflect on what's going on inside of you. And when you're finished with your own private prayer, you may be seated. Eli, we'd like you to come forward. Come over here. Where's your recorder? Right over here. Come with Cantrellani. Hold on one second, Eli. Now, Eli, hold on one second. Hold on. That's so beautiful. We're going to invite Micah's classmates and Micah to come and join in front of the podium while you continue. Just give us 1 second. Classmates over here. All right, Eli, are you ready? Mm-hmm. 1, 2, ready, go. Thank you so much, everyone. Eli, thank you so much. That was so beautiful that you prepared that so incredibly, but don't sit down too, well, you can sit down for a second. We are about to begin the part of our service where we take an ancient document, the Torah, 3,500 years old, and breathe into it new life, looking at it from the perspective of modern times. It's one of the cornerstones, a hallmark in Judaism, that we don't look at Torah and say, well, this is what we need to do word for word. We look at it and we struggle with it and we wrestle with it and we ask ourselves, how can this make sense to us in our own time? So in order for this to happen, we need to take the Torah from the Ark. And Eli, this is where you come in. We ask the congregation to rise once again. We're on page 244, page 244.
Ein kamocha va'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kema'asecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha bechol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Av harachamim heitiva virtzonecha et Zion. Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, Ki v'cha levad batachnu, Melech el ram venisa Adon olamim.
Hold on, let me get this together.
Ki mitzion teitzei Torah, Ki mitzion teitzei Torah, udevar Adonai mirushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato.
We're now going to invite forward, representing our chain of tradition, Joseph Shwartz and Michelle Shwartz, Shai and Jamie, and Micah, you should come up here as well. Grandparents are going to stand right here, parents in the middle, and then Micah and Eli on the end. In our Torah portion, we learn that God said to Avram, Lech Lecha, and to Sarai, Lichi Lach, go forward on this journey, become a people, and allow the blessings that will go to your descendants, allow your descendants to receive them with so much joy. Lichi Lach.
Lechi lach to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha to a place you do not know. Lechi lach on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadlule Adonai iti uneromema shemo yachdav.
שלושה דברים העולם עומד על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים על התורה ועל העבודה.
Please be seated, everyone.
גמילות חסדים.
So we're going to surround Micah with a number of blessings called aliyot. And when we invite people up for their aliyah, they're going to stand over by cantorial intern Liz's podium, and there is a sheet there with the words on it. And you'll be there for the blessing before as well as the blessing after. And so for the first aliyah, we are honored to invite forward Tali and Lior Madelan and Elisa Madelan, Ya'amdu Tali Ruth bat Michal v'Yosef, v'Lior ben Reuven v'Yehudit, v'Elisa bat Tali v'Lior.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayomer Adonai el Avram, lech lecha be'artecha ubimoladetecha ubibeit avicha el haaretz asher areka ve'esecha legoe gadol va'avarecha va'agadala shemecha v'hiye beracha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chaye olam nata betocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher koach. For our second aliyah, we invite forward Matt Fish, and I think this is my favorite Hebrew name, Ya'amod Mendel ben Mendel ben Mendel.
Okay, I think the last time I did this was my bar mitzvah. So.
Oh.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'na'atan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Va'avarecha mevorecha ubkalelecha aor v'nivrechu v'cha kol mishpahot adama vayele Avram ka'asher Diber Elav Adonai Vayelech ito Lot Ve'Avram Ben Hamed Shanim V'Shivim Shanam Betzeto Mecharan.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chaye olam nata betohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen.
Yasher Koach, thank you. For our third Aliyah, we invite forward Marcy Silverstein and Lindsay Gitman. Ta'amdu Malka V'Leah Bat Malka. Shabbat Shalom.
Baruch Adonai Haba.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayika Avram et Sarai ishto ve'lot ben achi ve'et kol rechusham asher achashu ve'et hanefesh asher asu ve'charan vayitzeu lelehet artza Canaan vayavohu artza Canaan vayavor Avram ba'aretz Ad Mekom Shechem Ad Elon More V'Hakena Ani Az Ba'aretz.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natat b'tokenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher Koach, thank you so much. For our fourth Aliyah, we invite forward Kim Kutnick and Amy Cesar. Ta'amdu Golda Leah V'Chaviva.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayra Adonai El Avram Vayomer Lezaracha Etain et ha'aretz hazot Vayiven sham Mizbeach L'Adonai Hanireh Elav Vayatek Misham Hachara Mikedem Leveit El Vayet Achelo Beit El Miyam V'ha'ai mikedem, v'yived sham mizbeach l'Adonai, v'yikra b'shem Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata betohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yasher Koach, thank you. For our fifth Aliyah, we invite forward Michelle and Joseph Schwartz. Ya'amdu Michal V'Yosef.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים, ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני, נותן התורה.
Amen. Vaisa Abraham haloch venasoa hanegba. Vayahi Rav ba'aretz. Vayered Avram Mitzrayim lagur sham ki yafati ki haved harav ba'aretz.
Baruch
אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen.
Yasher Koach, thank you. For our sixth Aliyah, we invite Shai and Jamie Schwartz. And Eli, why don't you join your parents? Ya'amdu Shai Shalom ben Michal v'Yosef v'Shen del Chana bat Mendel v'Leah.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayahi kasher hikriv lavo Mitzrayim. Vayomer el Sarah ishta hinena yadati ki isha yafat mareat. V'chaya kir'u ota hamitrim ve'ameru ishto zot v'charegu oti ve'ota yechayuv.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Why don't you all stay right there? Yasher Koach, Ya'amod, 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 Habachor Habar Mitzvah, Micha Zachariah ben Shai Shalom v'Shen del Chana. We now invite the Bar Mitzvah himself, Micah Zachary Shwartz, for his Aliyah.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Imrina ahoti at lema'an itavli ve'avurei v'chayata nafshi biglalei. Vayahi kevo avar. Vayahi kevo Avram Mitzrayim, vayeru hamitrim eta isha ki yafati me'od. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher Koach. Wow.
Sigh of relief.
Yeah, give your mom a hug.
Did amazing.
Oh, look at this. Micah, you so beautifully chanted from Torah. We are going to lift up the scroll so everyone can see what he chanted, and we invite the congregation to rise once again.
Vezot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al Adonai Be'ad Moshe.
Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai lai lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai lai lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 everyone. Did you want to go over there where it's a little less hot?
Okay.
Micah just so beautifully shared from the section of the Torah, the law. He's going to continue with the section of the prophets, the Haftarah. And this week's Haftarah portion is from the prophet Isaiah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar bidviim tovim veratzav v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah uv Moshe avdo uv Yisrael amo uvinviei ha'emet v'tzedek lama tomar Yaakov utaber Israel Nistera darki Adonai Elohai Mishpati Avor Haloch Yadata Imlo Shamata Elohei Olam Adonai Borei Ketzot Haaretz Lo yi'af velo yiga en cheker litvunato noten layif koa ulenonim otzma yarbe ve'afu ne'arim ve'yigau Uvahurim Kashol Yikashelu Vekoye Adonai Yechalifu Hoa Yechalu Aver Kenasharim Yarutsu Velo Yigau Yelehu Velo iafu haharishu elai im uumim yachalifu choa yigshu az yedaberu yachtav lamishpat nikrava mihir mimisrai Tzedek yikraehu laraglo iten lefana goyim umlachim yard iten ke'afar harbo kakashni daf kashto.
1 second, wow. Micah is about to offer the blessing after the chanting of Haftarah. I believe there's candy that's being handed out. So as he is chanting this, candy will be distributed in the congregation to be lovingly thrown onto the bima area. And when it's finished being lovingly thrown, those of you who are young at heart can come and clean it up. Are you ready, Micah? Deep breath. Goes kind of slowly because it's going to take a while for this to be handed. All right, start.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzor kol haolamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'osei ha'medaber u'mekayem shekol devarav Emet v'tzedek al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenata talanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha ve'limnucha lehavod uletifaret Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim la umevarchim ota yitbarach shimcha befi kol hai tamid leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Just throwing from the bowl.
Elliot, you were winding up your arm that whole time.
Yeah, that was my mom, sorry. No, you get to eat these, Preston. But thanks.
All right, everyone have a seat. You too. Good job.
I think I hit you.
Ow.
Here, Micah, here.
Got it.
Wow.
I know that one of you is going to get this in here at some point, the candy, but it hasn't happened yet. All right. Everyone take a deep breath. Micah, you've led us all to a spiritual high, and we're grateful for that. We want to take that feeling we have, the really, really special good feeling, and remember that there are people in this space and beyond this space who, for one reason or another, aren't able to have that kind of feeling. Maybe it's a sickness or an illness, a spiritual load that they're going through. And so we have a responsibility to offer blessings for healing. On page 253 of our prayer books, 253, right in the middle, is our prayer for healing, the Misha Berach. We're going to sing together. We're going to pray together. And then as my eyes meet yours, if there are people that you know who could use that blessing today, please share those names out loud.
May the
Friends, as we prepare to place the Torah back into the ark, we turn to page 256, and we invite Eli, along with his cousin Hannah, to please come forward to open the ark, where, again, on page 256, we invite the congregation to rise. Ki lekach tov natati lahem torati al ta'azovu. For I have given you a good instruction. Do not abandon my Torah. Mother, come on up as well.
It is the tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. Shalom, shalom.
It is a tree.
Shalom, shalom.
It's not a bush.
Shalom, shalom.
The tree of life.
Shalom, shalom. Eitz chaim hi lemachazikim ba v'tomhecha me'usar. Eitz chaim hi lemachazikim ba v'tomhecha me'usar. Shalom, shalom.
It is a tree.
Shalom, shalom.
It's not a bush.
Shalom, shalom.
The tree of life.
Shalom, shalom.
Please be seated, everyone. Not you.
Shalom.
This is fun. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to my bar mitzvah. One question I was asked a lot on the road. One question I was asked a lot on the road to my bar mitzvah is, what does it mean to become a bar mitzvah? To me, it means that my whole religious education is culminating in a single event where I become a Jewish adult in front of many of the people who matter most to me in the world. It also means that I'm leaving behind my childhood in both symbolic and literal ways and entering adulthood. I have been talking about having my bar mitzvah for years, and I can't believe it's happening. One of the most daunting parts of the bar mitzvah ceremony was the chanting of the Torah portion. The Torah portion I have just chanted is Lech Lecha. Lech Lecha tells us how God told Abraham, who was then Avram, to leave his home for Israel, which he's promised will be a better place. Both this story and having a bar mitzvah involve leaving behind the past for something new. I wondered what could cause someone to leave his home and family for a promise from God or just something they believe could be better. In Abraham's case, when he heard what God told him to do, he recognized God and God's call on a spiritual level, which is why he agreed to go to Israel. Now, while Abraham's story is different than most, it's not that unusual to leave your home and go to a new land. This is something that people have been doing for a very long time. In the early 20th century, my mother's grandparents came to America through Ellis Island. This was a journey that a great number of people took to seek a better life for themselves and their families. There is a parallel between the story of Abraham and the immigrants passing through Ellis Island. In both, young people choose to leave their home and go to an unknown place so that they and their family could live better lives. Though Abraham's reasons for leaving his home were more spiritually motivated, the journey through Ellis Island was motivated less by religious beliefs and more by practical needs. Many were escaping from their dire circumstances in Eastern Europe. I've also been asked many times what Judaism means to me. To me, Judaism means educating myself about the beliefs and practicing some of the traditions of my ancestors, going all the way back to Abraham. This includes celebrating Jewish holidays at home, having a Jewish education, going to temple, and becoming a bar mitzvah. Getting to this bar mitzvah was both wonderful and scary. There are so many people who helped me get to the point that I can stand here, recite that Torah portion, and give the speech. Thanks to Liz and Cantor Lonnie for their invaluable advice and help with my Torah and Haftarah reading, to Rabbi Shapiro for his assistance and insights with this speech, Randy and the teachers for running the Sunday school, the Sisterhood for the Kiddush Cup I received last night, and the men's group for the Tanakh. I want to thank my brother for his encouragement and love, my grandparents for introducing me to Judaism in simple ways at a young age, and of course my parents for everything they did to help me get to this point. I'm not sure I will ever know how hard they worked, but I know I could not have made it to this day without their support, and that I love them and Eli more than I could ever say.
You were this big. I held you right there. It's very, very strange to see you standing here. And somewhere I have some notes. Fortunately, my notes are here, but I do have them. So first, a similar embarrassing story. So, not an all-timer though. So when you were little and you'd scratch yourself, you said, I have a bleed. But I had to show you that if it didn't come off on the other hand, like it wasn't actual blood, it wasn't bleeding. The other day, you burned yourself really, really badly in cooking class, and you showed it to me, and your response was, yeah, that's pretty bad, huh? Like, no response, no significance. And so to see from here to I have a bleed to, yeah, I've rather badly damaged my fingers with some boiling hot butter, but you know, whatever, this stuff happens. Like, these are the moments recognizing like how much you've changed and the growth and the maturity, and it's just incredible to see. The ways that blow me away the most are the ways that you're already better than me. I'm jealous. We're going to DC, your school has this trip in the spring, and we described it to you. You didn't ask if anyone else was going, you didn't ask what their plans was, you got a basic description trip, you're like, I'm in, done, sign me up. You're all about it. And it's gonna be great, I'm sure you're gonna have a good time, but your quickness, your confidence, your comfort level with embracing new challenges and adventures is just incredible. I'm jealous. You're thirsty for knowledge, you're organized, you're prepared, you want to learn new things, you see the value in that, and you're already learning that setbacks aren't failures, that one step backward, two steps forward, all that good stuff. And I see you embracing those challenges. It's amazing. Remembering the movie we went to, the Kubo and the Two Strings movie, what was it that every challenge you see, you get stronger, the challenges get tougher. And I see that happening to you, and I see you stepping forward and embracing that. But one of the reasons we're here today is embracing your past and the Jewish people and Jewish tradition. There's a lot to say about that, and there's a lot that you recognize about that. So when I was at Hebrew University with Deb, there was a professor named Emil Fackenheim, and he had written something called the 614th Commandment. And that is that we can't let the Jewish people disappear. We have the responsibility, because of the Holocaust, to make sure that the Jewish people continue. And looking at you, watching you up here, like a lot more confident than I was when you were this big, that you're going to be a factor for all of us. And it's amazing to see. At the same time, you have to figure out your own way of doing it. You have to figure out who you're going to be as a Jew and how you want to present yourself as a person, as a Jewish person in the world. I have all the confidence in the world. You're going to do an incredibly thoughtful and considerate job of that too. But recognize that responsibility is on you, and we're all here as links in a chain. So you're wearing your grandfather's tie clip today. I'm wearing my grandfather's tie, and they're here in spirit, right? And so we have small symbols, but it's incredibly important to all of us that they would be going to be here right now. But you know, I hear them in my head as I'm standing here, and I'm thinking about them, and you know, what we're all looking forward to what's coming next. And that was pretty much it. So I'm so excited to see what you have in store next for us. There's so much around the corner for you. I love you so much. So I'm proud of you.
Micah and I have had some very special experiences in our 9.5 years together. This is a small selection that I have made of the most memorable ones.
Oh boy.
Number 6, when we went to Vaughn's in a snowstorm. One year when we were up in Mammoth, my mom and my Aunt Holly told us it was a nice day, so we should go walk to the Vaughn's in the village. Turns out they didn't check the weather, and it started raining snow arrows. Yep, a blizzard started, and I was about 5 years old, lugging 3 grocery bags to and from Vaughn's. I still joke about that day now, which is why I remember it. Number 5, treasure hunting at the Legoland Hotel. For my 7th birthday, we went to Legoland and slept in the Castle Hotel. When we entered, there were 5 banners above the receptionist's desk. First banner said, "It is up to you to figure out the code for the safe, then you will get a little prize." The other 4 banners had the clues to figure out the codes for the safe. So obviously, we ran over to the banners and made a quick mental note, and then dashed over to the elevator. Started running around and beat all the numbers. Rushed back to the room, then put in the numbers 6, 2, 4, 5, since these were the numbers we got. We got a little pelican logo. Number 4, terrifying my 4-year-old cousin. One time when we went to the science center with my cousin, who is now 4.5 years old, we went to the aquarium there. The 5 of us, me, my mom, my brother, my aunt, and my uncle, went up to sit at the seats at the top. When the diver came down from the opening at the top of the aquarium, he started shrieking his lungs out. Then he sat down and sat there for about 10 seconds, then ran around like a crazy person trying to find us. So then we grabbed him and walked back over to the tunnel. Number 3, melting shoes on Masada. When I was 6, we went to Israel. One of the places we went was Mount Masada. We went there during the summer, so the mountain was very hot. So hot that when we walked up to the top, we were about to reach a nice cliff where we could see the Dead Sea, my dad's rubber sandals melted. When he got to the cliff, it fully melted and got stuck to the rock. He ended up walking on one foot all the way back. Number 2, why I dislike Harry Potter World. So, every time I've been to Universal Studios, I've wanted to go on the Harry Potter ride where you go upside down. But every time I've always been a few inches too short. It has frustrated me for years that Mike and his friends have gone on, but I never could. But next year when I turn 10, I want to go there with Micah, so when I get on, I can yell to the scale, in your face! Number 1. Building a Lego in parts that are not just bags. Once for Hanukkah, I got a Lego set, unsurprisingly. It was a Whomping Willow set from Harry Potter. There were 6 bags, so we decided to split it. I did 2 bags at night, and Micah did 2, then I did the last 2 in the morning. When I finished it in the morning, I called, Micah! Scrambled over to my room and started saying, what? And then he saw the Lego and carefully helped me bring it to his room, and it's been there ever since. As I have been with Micah, all of our experiences at the time that we had them shaped our relationship. But at the end, he is my brother, and I love him.
That is a hard act to follow. My goodness. Elijah. He worked on that very hard at school with his teachers. So thank you, Open School, for that. Micah, 35 years ago, this exact weekend, I was on the bima having my bat mitzvah. My dad was about to give his speech, and as soon as he opened his mouth, he burst out crying, and my mom had to read it. I always thought the story was about how my dad was such a softie, but as I'm standing up here today for your bar mitzvah, I totally get it. You have worked so hard to get to this moment, and your father and I are overcome with pride and love. These last 18 months have really taught us a lot. We've learned patience, creative ways to entertain ourselves, and how to adapt to life while we were all stuck at home. While the days were long, the years are short. I already look back at our time during quarantine as one where we made challah together every Friday. We did Shabbat Zooms with family, and you had an opportunity to Zoom with your Open School friends every week. It wasn't that bad, right? And now we happily look to the future. I wish for you to fill your days with things that nurture you. Spend your time with people who care about you and who you care about. Learn all you can. Take every opportunity afforded to you. Be a good friend, be a good Jew, be a good citizen of the world. You are already a terrific son, brother, grandson, friend, and cousin. You said to me recently, don't worry, Mom, I've got plans. And trust me, I believe you. You work hard, you study hard, and you're not afraid to try new things. Whether it's learning to surf, climbing a waterfall, or building a computer, you got this. I look forward to seeing you grow up and change the world. Mazel tov, and I love you.
Okay. Kendra, I think we need to fasten our seatbelts and get ready for Eli coming up in a couple of years, right? Wow, just wow. Micah, what an extraordinary day today is. With precise measurement and with joy, you approach life and you approached today. I close my eyes. I remember a conversation I had with your mom in our lobby when you had just joined the synagogue and you're trying to navigate your way through understanding what Temple Akiba was about. And I always think back on that conversation and what a blessing unfolded from it. Because meeting you and your brother, your dad, and of course your mom, you've brought many blessings to our congregation. And then you come to Lego Tuesdays along with many in your cohort who are here, helping us to build and bringing a sense of enjoyment. And then we start studying for your bar mitzvah and looking at your Torah portion. And I learned that you can do the Rubik's Cube in like 3 seconds with one hand, and I'm amazed. I don't know if you've been able to solve that 5-sided Rubik's Cube just yet. You have, of course. And you almost beat the record for my wooden puzzle on my table. I think the record is 6.2 seconds, and you got it in 6.4 seconds. You're welcome to come back and keep on trying. Micah, you asked so many brilliant questions along the way, and I was reflecting on one of the main questions you asked. You wanted to know, why is it that Judaism is still important and still relevant? And you acknowledge there are many religions that have good things to say. Why still practice Judaism? I think the answer in many ways is in your Torah portion, Lech Lecha. That when Avram heard God say, Avram, it's time to leave, Lech Lecha, go forth from where you are to the place that you don't know. Avram must have heard something in God's voice that said there's something kind of cool going on here and something special. And I believe that Avram actually got into a little bit of a time machine. Do you believe time travel is possible?
Yeah.
Right, I thought so. Avram got into one of these time machines and he was catapulted into the future where there was a biblical prophet named Micah, your namesake. And Micah shared one of the most important values that there is in Judaism. Micah said, what is important in life? To do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with God. So in answer to your question, why is Judaism still relevant? It's because of what your prophetic ancestor believed and what his biblical ancestor Avram understood. Micah, that your job is to always go out there and to do justice, make the world right through your actions, to love mercy, to know when someone needs a hug, and to walk humbly before God, to always have that sense of humility and of goodness and of justice and righteousness and beauty. And when you do these things, Micah, you will channel the vision that Abraham had and make the world better. Your dad said it so beautifully. We have that 614th commandment to follow. Let's not only look back to what they did long ago, but to make Judaism relevant going forward. And no one's going to do it in quite the way that you do. We are so proud of you, Micah. Mazel tov. Cantorial intern Liz and Cantor Lani also have words to share.
Micah, you did it. This was amazing. While you were reading Torah, I flashed back to our very first lesson where you told me, among other things, that you were excited but nervous. You weren't nervous at all up here. It didn't show at all. You did an amazing, amazing job. As your Torah portion says, you stepped forward into this unknown journey, did amazingly, and now you shall be a blessing, like Avram, like your namesake Micah. And not only shall you be a blessing, you are a blessing. I am so proud of all the work you have done and know you're going to do even more wonderful things in your future. Mazal Tov.
Thank you.
Micah, like Rabbi and Cantorial Intern were saying, you were our Avraham today. And our portion, it says, go forth, I shall make you the leader of a great nation. And you were our leader this afternoon, this morning. You led us in prayer and song. You made all of our spirits soar to the heavens with your incredible wisdom, and we are so grateful for it. And you made it look easy, and it's not easy. It takes so much work. You know how much work it takes. But through this entire process from start to finish, you made it seem easy, even though I know how much work you have put into it. But we are so grateful for you sharing who you are, this incredible experience with us. We know that you can do anything. If you can memorize that amount of pie, if you can build these incredible Lego sets, if you can share your wisdom with us in the way that you did today, we know that you can do anything in life. Mazel tov. We're so, so proud of you and excited for you.
We're going to invite your parents and brother to come forward and hold this talit that belonged to your grandfather over your head as we offer you a blessing, Micah. Great-grandfather, thank you, yes.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's light shine upon you and be gracious unto you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'asem lecha shalom.
May God's face always smile with you, Micah, and grant you the most precious gift, the gift of shalom, of peace. Everyone, let's say amen.
Amen.
Amen. Family hug now. It's now an honor to invite forward, representing our congregation, Jeffrey Rips, who is our executive director. Jeffrey, Shabbat Shalom.
Micah, Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov to the family. You did an extraordinary job, and it's my privilege and honor on behalf of our board of directors to give you two things. One is this certificate for your bar mitzvah, signed by our president, Rabbi and Cantor. So if you ever wake up one morning and say, was that really a dream? You can look back on this and say, no, this really happened. And the other is that the temple has planted a tree in Israel in your name. And I think that's really special. I love Israel. You've been to Israel. Your brother told a story about your dad's shoes in Israel. But I think planting a tree is also more symbolic, right? This Torah portion and everything that everybody talked about is about your journey. And the tree starts out very young and it's not doing a lot, right? But as it gets bigger, it creates shade and other things. And you are on your journey. You're a planner, you're setting goals, and you're going to make a big impact on the world and on your family. And so remember this, you might not be able to see the exact tree, but when you go to Israel, you'll see plenty of trees, and this is planted in your honor. Again, Mazel Tov on everything you've done, and good luck in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. We've got one more tradition here. Let me pull this out. We have a special scroll that was made just for our congregation. We call it our Lador Vador scroll, our generation to generation scroll. I'm going to show you the artwork in it. It says in Hebrew, Oreinu me'ir tov yoter yachad, which means our light shines brighter together. That's our temple motto. And it has beautiful artwork surrounding it, but in the middle it's blank, and we have everyone who has become bar bat mitzvah at Temple Akiba sign this. So you are going to sign right beneath Sienna Burris, whose bat mitzvah was just last week. One second. Let's do the other side.
Okay.
There you go. And today's date. Mazel tov! When you put the date, it's too bad your bar mitzvah is not on March 14th, right?
Yes.
3.14, then you would have done the whole thing out there.
In 2015.
Okay. Right, in 2015, right. Mazel tov. Okay, everyone, we're going to turn in our prayer books to page 282. About halfway down the page, we invite you to rise once again for the Aleinu.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer reshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. I'll borrow this for a second. As we prepare for the mourner's Kaddish, we turn to page 200 and, page 291. And toward the bottom of the page, I offer this poem by Hine. There are stars up above so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We remember friends of the Shwartz family who have died, who continue to shine upon us from their eternal resting spaces, including Jamie's parents, Marvin and Linda Fish, Jamie's grandparents, Iris and Max Clapper, and Jenny and Sam Fish, and Shai's grandparents, Zelda and Chuck Freeberger, as well as Hinda and David Shwartz. May their memories guide us with goodness always. On page 294 is our mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba v'yalmad divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael b'gala u'v'yizman kariv imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam u'amei almaya yitbarav v'yishtabav v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabba min Shemaya
v'chaim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who causes peace to be known in the high heavens help us understand that by reaching out to one another, we create peace on earth as well. For all Israel and for all humanity, we say,
Amen.
Amen. Friends, let's take a deep breath once again. We're going to ask you to put your prayer books down, but remain standing. Kendra, what are we closing with?
We are closing with the singing of Oseh Shalom. The reason we're asking you to put your prayer books down is we need your hands. There's a lot of hand clapping through this song.
And Schwartz, come on up and join your son, your brother up here. Ooh.
Oseh shalom b'mroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Oseh shalom b'mroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Oh, wait, you didn't do it yet.
One more.
You've got the hardest blessing here. Are you ready for that? Did you practice this one?
I'm very worried.
Okay.
This is by far the hardest blessing.
I'm super scared of this. I know
So,
what it is.
when everyone leaves, there will be a little challah for every family to enjoy. Micah, take the challah, have all of your family hold on to it a little bit as we offer the motzi together.
Motzi lechem in haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices joining happy chorus as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, b'tei avot.
Mazel tov and Shabbat shalom, everyone!
This is the first thing I'm eating as a Jewish man.
Make it a good bite.